Hi all, this is Harini. Welcome back to our channel Code with Honey. Today we are going to solve September day 17 LeetCode challenge, which is design a food rating system. So what this question states is we have to design a food rating system that will do the following things. We can modify the rating of the food item listed in the system, and we have to return the highest rated food item for a type of cuisine in the system. So we have to implement the food rating class. So they will be giving you the init function and change rating and highest rated function. So init function will have foods and cuisines and ratings. Okay, initially. So after once you have list of foods, cuisines and ratings, food of I will give you the cuisine type and the rating for that food. So the change rating will, you can change the rating of the food uh, with the new rating. So highest rated is nothing but, so for example we will have different type of cuisine. For example, here you will have different types of foods: miso, sushi, mozaka, ramen, everything, right? So that will be having the Japanese cuisine, right? So for example, here if you see, Japanese cuisine has three foods, which is sushi, ramen and bulgogi. So in that, which is top rated? So if you see, sushi is miso, sushi and bulgogi, or the Japanese cuisines. So if you, after we have initialized, if they are asking us to return the highest rated of Japanese, we will be returning ramen, because ramen has the highest rating, which is 12,814, which has the highest rated. You have to return you know that rating is 14, you have to return that food item. You got it. This is how they wanted us to design a food rating system. So let's take a look at the example and let's think of the approach, and we'll look into the solution. Okay. So here I have taken the same example which we have discussed earlier. So we have, this is the food, cuisine and rating. So on initialization, you will be getting all these three sort of arrays, and at I you will be having kimchi, Korean. For this corresponding to the food, you will be getting the cuisine. At I0 you will be getting kimchi as a food, cuisine as a Korean, and rating as a 9. So based on that, you know, okay, at I equals to 0, the corresponding food will have the corresponding cuisine and the rating. Got it? So these are the queries that they have passed, and according to the query, how we are going to design our food rating system, let's take a look. Okay. Now on initialization, okay, let's assume we will have it as a array which has 3D kimchi food and the corresponding rating. Okay, corresponding cuisine and rating. If you have it in a 3D array like this, so when we are changing the rating of the corresponding food and with the new rating, you have to traverse through the all elements, and you have to figure it out the, okay, which has a food ramen, then you have to update. So for each change rating, you, for each query of change rating, you have to traverse at the order of n, right? So what, for that, what we will be doing, so if we have stored it in a hash map, for example the kimchi which has a cuisine Korean and the rating, so now you can do the, you can change the new rating at order of 1, right, in the food map. So for storing the food, we will be going to use the food map. So let's have it as food map initially. So now we'll be traversing for I in range, length of the foods or rating or cuisine, anything you can use. All together will be having the same length, okay, because at any point of I you will have food of I will have the food, cuisine of I will have the cuisine, and rating of I will give you the rating. So now our self dot food map of food of I will have your rating and cuisine. Got it? So by that, whenever you are calling the change rating of sushi, now sushi is a key for the food map. So you can easily change, right? So now what will be our old rating and cuisine will be self dot food map. From the food you will get the old rating. I'm just writing this, which we will use it for some other function. So okay, now self dot food map of our food. Okay, now what we will be doing, you will be updating the new rating which they are passing and the corresponding cuisine you will update, right? So yeah, this is to update our rating. Now we have another thing called def highest rated cuisine. So for example, here we have the Japanese three, right? Ramen, sushi, and miso. So you have to return the highest rated cuisine food. So we have to have another map based on the cuisine. So that will have the array of all these values. Among that we will return the top. So instead of traversing through all and you are checking, okay, there's a Japanese and you have to store the corresponding food and name if the highest rating, then you will be traversing through the next, and if the cuisine is Japanese, or cuisine is Japanese or whatever the cuisine that they are giving, so then if that previous rating is smaller than this, then you will update this as a new rating and this as a new food. So like that you will be traversing through the each order of n every time, right? But if we store the cuisine with whatever the corresponding cuisine is, the same will have a cuisine map. Okay, here we'll have self dot cuisine map. It's a default dict of list because it will store a array of values, right? So Japanese will have three values, so that's why we are storing as a list. So now you are having cuisine of I. Here another catch is this. So here instead of again whatever the list you have, okay, if we wanted to always return at highest, so if it is a max heap, you can return the highest at order of 1, right? So what we will be doing, this each list we will be storing it in a heap. So heap push, explain why we are using heap, right? Because we wanted to return the max heap. So if you are storing the all the cuisine as a list in a max heap, so what our answer will, so you can fetch the maximum element at the order of 1. So why we are using hash map is so that you don't need to traverse through the order of n to find which is the Japanese cuisine, among that what is the highest. So to fetch all the Japanese cuisine, we are using hash map, and to fetch the top element, maximum element in that, we are using heap. So what we will be doing, since it's a cuisine map is a default dict, right? So which is a list. So now you can heap push of self dot cuisine, which is a array cuisine map of cuisine, comma. Now whatever the you have to, for in Python to have a max heap you have to store it in a negative minus rating, comma food. Got it? So now I will explain how what will be our food map and what will be our cuisine. Okay, now you understood, right, why we are using the cuisine map. So now the food map will consist of, I'll write here, our food map will be like 7. So this is the food map. Okay, now our cuisine map will be like, okay, what is the Japanese cuisine? Ramen. So this is the Japanese. So this is a heap. Got it? So when you are getting a Japanese cuisine, so now you will know like heap. This is a heap, right? So now you can fetch self dot cuisine map of what is the corresponding cuisine will have the will return you this is a heap. So another catch here. So based on that, now among this, the heap of 0 will have the top highest rated cosine. Got it? So the same Korean will have these are the cosine maps. So we have only two cosines. So why we are using cosine map? So that we don't need to traverse through order of n to figure out which is the cosine, Japanese cuisine and the corresponding food. Okay, is this top rating, is this top rating, all this we have to check. So to avoid that, we have stored the cuisine map, what all the corresponding food items and their rating. So among this, we are using heap to get the highest rated. So since it is a max heap, so in Python we have only one heap, right? Which is a min heap. So to get a maximum value, we'll be using minus of that value to get a maximum. Got it? So that's why here you are doing the minus rating of food. So next, so when it is coming, if you see the highest now, the highest rated of Korean, what it would have written. So now the highest rated of Korean cuisine would have written Maozaga. Got it? So next, highest rated of Japanese would have returned ramen. Got it? Now we are changing the rating of sushi. So old rating and other corresponding cuisine will be getting it here. Okay. So now once you have updated this new rating, you have to put it in the cuisine as well, right? So he push of self dot cuisine map. So by this cuisine you will get it this cuisine for that food you will get it in the self dot food map. So you are updating from that the new rating. New rating, how will you do? Minus of new rating comma corresponding cuisine. Got it? So what will happen now if you see the sushi's rating is got updated to 16. Okay. So let's assume here the sushi rate is we are not popping out the old rating. Now we are just updating the old new the map with 16 minus 16 comma sushi that we are just updating. We are not removing. Okay. Let's assume. So if Japanese cuisine has a ramen already minus 18, which is so okay. Minus 18 was the old sushi's rating. Now they have updated the new with minus 16. Got it? But this was a fake stale rating of the sushi, right? So since we are not removing that, okay, we are just updating the new rating for the corresponding cuisine and the respective food. Okay, so now here will be food. Sorry, I mistakenly wrote cuisine. So now we have updated the food with new rating and the corresponding cuisine. So here if you see sushi would have got updated to minus 16, but still it has a minus 18 which is a old one. Got it? So when our heap now our heap will give you the top one as a minus 18 and the sushi as a result, but still sushi food is same. Okay, let's assume if the food is not same. We have somehow we have updated the change rating to ramen as well. Okay, so minus 18 of so yeah. Now if you see the newer rating to the sushi is minus 16 and the older rating was, let's assume it is a minus 19. Okay, the newer rating is minus 16. So now as per our answer it should return ramen. but it will return sushi because of the stale entry already exists. So now if you didn't remove the stale entry, our food will return as sushi, right? So but our exact answer will be ramen because sushi was the old entry. Okay, by considering these three, ramen is the correct answer, right? So for what we will be doing to that, so now this heap for the corresponding Japanese cuisine, this heap would have returned. Okay. So while heap, we will be this cuisine has two things, right? Which is rating as well as the food. So we have updated the corresponding rating in the food map. Okay, so which doesn't have the stale entry. So if this and this matches only, we will return the corresponding food. If not, we will be popping this out. So next will be minus 18, obviously. So by that we will remove the all the stale entries. So while heap, what we will be doing will be like self dot food map will consist of now heap 0 here. Let's take heap of 0 has rating comma food, right? So every heap, so heap of 0 will return you the topmost maximum element, so that will has rating as well as food. So that, so now food map of food will have the food of 0 will have the rating. Okay, so if minus of rating, because this is minus, right? So minus of rating and self dot food map of food of 0 is not equal, so this is minus 19, but here is 16, so which is a stale entry. So what we will be doing, you will be popping out, right? So heap dot pop, so heap pop of heap, if you give, now this top element will get popped out, right? So now among this next heap of 0 will be minus 18 and ramen. So ramen will already, so as since we have changed to this, so let's change here as well. So ramen has 18 and this also has 18. So the rating will, if not, heap dot pop, right? So if it is equal, both are equal, then okay, these are the top one, then you have to return the food, so that by then you will be returning now as ramen. I hope this makes sense. Right now will be popping out the stale entries in highest rated. So when if the food rating and the corresponding top heap element rating it doesn't matches, which means that rating got updated, we didn't remove the stale entry, so we'll be popping that out. And when next until the heap exists, we will be keep on checking. For sure one food will be there which has the highest rated the cuisine, so we don't need to return empty, nothing like that, we need to check. Got it? So yeah, I hope this makes sense. This is the exact solution that we have used to solve this question. So let's take a look at the time complexity. So the time complexity for the initialization will be, you see, uh, you are traversing through order of n, okay, and you are doing here a heap push which will take log n. So order of for initialization init method will be order of n plus order of n log n, which in turn will be order of n log n. Got it? So next, change rating, I think so. We are just, so this heap push again will take log n to push one element because we are basically pushing only one element, and this will take order of 1 because it's just updating the map, right? So fetching also take order of 1. This also will, this is log n. So basically change rating will take log n just to update, push the new rating into the cuisine. Got it? So next, highest rated will be So we will be popping out the stale entries. So we don't know how many stale entries will be present, right? So that, let's assume k is the stale entry. So k log n will be the total that we will be popping out from the element once you have figured out if the rating and food map are equal. So these are the total time complexity for this. So in total, so overall time complexity, we can assume it as a order of n log n. Okay, so space complexity is, only we are using food map and cuisine map, which might take order of n. Here if the cuisine is order of, let's assume c, so in total order of n will be the greater, so will be like approximately will be order of n is the space complexity we are using for the entire problem. Okay, I hope I have given enough explanation. I think this will be clear to you guys. If you have any questions or concern, please do leave a comment below. I'll be glad to assist. The GitHub link to the solution will be provided in the video description for your reference. If you found this video helpful, I would truly appreciate if you could like, subscribe and share it with your friends. That will highly motivate me to do more videos daily. Yeah. Thanks for watching.